Leonid Massin came over for a production of The Three-Cornered Hat, which was a ballet he had created. And there was one number that I wasn't required at rehearsal, so I went up into the stalls and I saw the most amazing example of slow, tense dancing. You could not take your eye off him. That was, as far as Covent Garden was concerned, that was his last appearance there. The ballet conductors were not particularly distinguished, but the opera conductors, I was very fortunate in playing many times for Rudolf Kempe, for instance. And we must have played the Wagner's Ring Cycle, 6 or 7 times, because we would do 2 cycles in a season, and then he came the following year, and then perhaps 2 years after that. And that was a great experience. And the first thing to move in the ring, in musical terms, is the 8th horn. The cellos and basses have a low pair of notes a fifth apart. They are then joined, this goes on and on, joined by the bassoons, and then there is a very long arpeggio from down at the bottom of the horn register up to fairly high, nothing extraordinary. And the person who'd been doing it was coming to the end of his, doing 8th horn, sorry, coming to the end of his career, and was, considering this is the first thing that moves, it was becoming a little bit dodgy. And Maurice Smith, the manager, orchestral manager, asked me if I would put in that opening. I said, I've got enough to do as second horn. And I thought about it. Next day I went to him and said, well, I'll play 8th horn right through. Oh, would you really? Knowing that I would also be playing Wagner tuba, and playing Wagner tuba gives you an extra 50% on your fee. So I did this opening. Rudolf Kempe simply said, no crescendo, because if you just play it feeling as if you're playing the same level, it automatically sounds louder to the audience as you get near the top. And the remarkable thing is that then the 6th horn does exactly the same, and then the 8th horn again, and then the 6th horn, and 7th. All the horn players take over. And of course, you are laying a standard that the whole section has to follow. And it's a most commanding sort of overlapping of sounds. And that's only the start of the ring. 4 operas, and at their time, new way of writing for the horns, in fact for most of the orchestra. And you have to have a lot of rehearsals, and then you finally do do it over a period, do the 4 operas over a period of a fortnight. Then you do it again within a week. And you can feel pretty shattered after that lot. But you knew exactly where you were with Kempe. He also conducted Parsifal. Now that's not nearly such an innovative sort of set of horn parts. You just have the 4 horns. And there's one little first horn passage, I think because it's written as semiquavers, it looks as if it's got to be very fast. But the actual tempo at that point is quite slow. And the only time I ever knew him to falter the other first horn from Francis Bradley, Tony Tunstall, he fumbled it, and after he'd tried about 3 times, Kempe said, well, would you like somebody else to play it? And we had all been making fun of it by playing it, because it was quite a simple little scale passage. Da 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 dee da da da, but looked much faster. And Tony whipped round and pointed to me at the other end of the. So, from then on, in that opera, I did a little tiny bit of first horn. The other great conductor was Giulini, and he did, of course, the Italian operas. And both these conductors were very appreciative of the orchestra. They were, they didn't jump on anybody like some conductors in those days did. And we enjoyed playing for them as a result.